With the new tools and the technologies available to us today, you can go from collecting something that was mass produced by a big company to designing and making your own collectibles and even selling them. That's the case that we're going to look at today with LOD Toy Soldiers. We'll meet the man behind the company today on Collector Guys.
Collector Guys.
I'm Ken Syak with LOD Enterprises, and I am the owner and I guess responsible for most everything, along with my family. LOD we are a manufacturer of plastic toy soldiers. At the same time, we are bringing back a lot of the Barzo catalog, as that's an acquisition we made 3 years ago.
What was your goal when you started LOD?
It was to, add on, create toys and collectibles for not only for the hobby, but also try to branch out and introduce history to kids. And so my goal, long-term goal, is to get into more gift shops and museums.
Is the LOD staff very big?
It's my family and I. So now I have a number of people I guess would be deemed independent contractors that I rely on that help, but they're not employees. We've branched off into holidays. We have a Halloween figure this year in the Headless Horseman. We do Christmas sets. Our flagship series would probably be the War at Troy, the Trojan War. But we've been able to branch off into many different directions with the acquisition of Barzo play sets.
One of the things I think that sets LOD apart is your excellent sculpting. How do you achieve that?
I achieve that well. I have a very talented sculptor that passionate about her craft, and we spend a lot of time working together. And she's the talent. I'm the idea person, and it all comes together through good, solid teamwork and collaboration.
You do figures from less common areas like the American Revolution, the War at Troy, Robin Hood.
Yep.
Is this difference by design?
Oh yeah, the idea for the company did start with the War at Troy line, in that I did not see, while not being an expert on plastics, I did not see much on the Trojan War. There's a lot of your classical Greeks and your Spartans, certainly with 300 coming out 15 years ago. That was in the marketplace, but there wasn't anything on the Trojan War. So that kind of started it, and we've grown because it's been successful and popular, and we've gotten collectors to adopt and say, hey, we like this. A little general collecting advice. If you want an item from a smaller company, go ahead and buy it when it's right there. Don't wait if you can afford it. Smaller companies usually have smaller production runs and can stop production altogether. That happened with Barzo Toy Soldiers. They were very popular. They had a lot of people collecting them, but when they stopped, a lot of collectors did not get the things that they wanted. Luckily, Ken from LOD Toy Soldiers came along and put LOD and Barzo together and put these figures back into action.
Now, you mentioned that you took over the legendary Barzo line. How has been the response from bringing those back?
It's been great. I live in Green Bay. Ron's here in the Chicagoland area. So we met after I introduced my first set of figures, and we struck up a friendship. We initially purchased 4 molds that he had done at the same factory in Hong Kong, and that was an entree. Then a couple years later, we collaborated on his last playset, which was a Battle at Yorktown, and then it just kind of it allowed for the conversation to happen for us to purchase the company, and it's been great. I mean, we can't get product out quickly enough. We don't want to flood the market with it, but right. The demand has been great. The collectors, I think, are happy to see the figures come out. They're made at the same 2 places, whether it be the foam structures or the resin figure sets. We're still using the same production centers, so we have the same talent is still involved.
What's your personal favorite part of making toy soldiers?
I think doing something that is a little unique, and again, that's it. You can make that decision whether it's risky. Well, it is risky if you fail at it. It's something you like, and so you can do it. And I mean, even though I don't do the sculpting and the design work, coming up, working on the poses, and then the marketing of it, seeing if can you. I think there's a lot more, maybe not collectors, but there's a lot more enthusiasts out there, and so it takes, you have to find them through social media. Again, it's different outlets, and that's what we try to do with some of our sets, whether it be the Christmas set or Headless Horseman. That should give us a different entree. And maybe that child, that grandparent that purchases looks and said, they actually have some American history stuff too.
Where do you personally find your inspiration?
I don't know. Maybe I'm like, this is probably a common. I'm like a kid who didn't grow up. Not so much from the collecting. I mean, I have collections, and I say I'm the Star Wars generation. So I grew up with Star Wars action figures, Marvel comics, and those. So I, that late 70s, early 80s, and then that inspires me to kind of to do different things and be creative with what we do, but doing it more from a historical standpoint.
What kind of advice would you give somebody looking to get into collecting?
canvass the marketplace, or there's a lot of great stuff out there. There is more and more talent, and I think with 3D printing and just technology, there's just a lot of very creative and artistic people that are making things. So, don't settle on something that you don't love. You should be able to find something you really enjoy. And so, we know our stuff isn't for everybody, but there's a lot of cool stuff that's out there.
And what does the Chicago show mean to LOD?
Well, it's where we started off. It's proximity-wise, it's close. I always want to introduce products here. It's a great show for the hobby. There's a lot of people, everybody that's involved with it, from Roger and his whole staff, that are passionate about it. And this is the premier show. So we want to be a big part of it, help it continue to grow, and so what we aim for. This is the introductory weekend for us. What is your personal favorite LOD set? Oh, that's not like the question you ask, who's your favorite kid, and he can't answer it. It's funny. I'm so partial to the first set, and I look at that and say that set's great. But with advances in what our sculptor continues to do, it's like with each and every set, I think they get better and better in a different way.
And what's the future for LOD, do you think?
Well, we're going to continue with the combined strategy of re-releasing Barzo playsets, figures, and the foam structures. We'll continue to expand the War at Troy line. The sculptor and I were talking about maybe doing the Judgment of Paris. Again, not so much of a combat set, but we have been releasing the guys the last couple of years. So that's probably, and then we'll see how the Headless Horseman does. We'll probably expand into something else. I've got a couple of suggestions for the Easter Bunny, but I don't know if we'll do that.
Thanks to Ken from LOD Toy Soldiers. If you want to pick up any of their affordable and amazing toy soldiers or holiday products or scenic pieces, go to LODtoysoldiers.com. A couple other thank yous while we're here. Thank you to our amazing wives who always support us. Thank you to Tabor the Great for our amazing animations. Thank you to the wonderful Eric for our theme. And finally, thank you to Dan for some amazing technical support. That's it for Collector Guys.
Thanks for watching. This is the first of many toy episodes we have coming out in the next few months. So if you want to see more, click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching Collector Guys, and remember, surround yourself with the things you love.